At Comics and Comics, we have a segment where we like to give an opinion about something. And if you've ever read any fanboy post on any message board anywhere, you understand why we call this segment But Let's Face It. A video went viral recently of a filibuster by Patton Oswalt for the show Parks and Recreation. His speech was a proposal for the plot of Star Wars Episode VII, and the story he was pitching quickly evolved into a crossover between the Star Wars universe and the Marvel universe. This occurs from Thanos using the reality gem of the Infinity Gauntlet. Tony Stark then becomes aware that there is a disturbance and starts to assemble the, quote, cream of the Marvel universe, not the second-tier superheroes that we saw in the first Avengers movie. He would go find, hello, Spider-Man. Spider-Man exists in that universe. He would go find Moon Knight. He would go find Daredevil. He would go find Hercules. End quote. Assembling a team of your best talent is always a good idea, especially when a multi-universe threat is upon us, headed by the most deadly villain from Saturn's moon of Titan. But let's face it, in no way should Moon Knight be part of the team to handle him. I'm sorry, for real? Moon Knight? First tier? No way is Moon Knight first tier, not in fame nor power. Moreover, he is completely wrong for the mission. Am I missing something? Is there some side effect for all the antipsychotics he takes that raises his midichlorian count or something? I mean, if Tony Stark is looking for a drinking buddy at Mos Eisley, by all means, ring up Mark Spector and go pick up a gaggle of Twi'lek pole dancers. But for an adventure fighting Thanos that probably needs to gross $500 million domestic in order to be considered a success, Moon Knight is not even an 8th round draft pick. I mean, why not go with Jack of Hearts and Son of Satan while we're at it? Moon Knight is notoriously not a team player. I know I don't need to remind Tony Stark that Moon Knight burned his Avengers membership card in issue 50 of his own book. What is Iron Man's plan? I can think of no one more useless against Thanos than a loose cannon with a severe personality disorder armed only with crescent darts. And if we're being pragmatic here, we need to put the success of the mission ahead of the wishes of Disney accountants. While Spider-Man and Daredevil might have the Q rating to help bolster box office, their respective rogues galleries of enemies aren't really in the league of Thanos, and I'm not sure how much help they would be. I mean, all of the Jedi already have spider sense, and maybe they should send him home. Your powers are not needed here. My powers are not needed here. You should go back and deal with Dr. Octopus. I should go back and deal with Dr. Octopus. In fact, you are Dr. Octopus in current continuity, and Bendis is messing things up in Age of Ultron. In fact, I am Dr. Octopus in current continuity, and Bendis is messing things up in Age of Ultron. Now with Hercules, I'm on board completely. And that's not just because he's powerful and did a great job of leading the champions for 17 issues, but also because Patton Oswalt is using the character as a bridge from the Marvel Universe to Clash and Wrath of the Titans, movies that were made by Warner Brothers. Now, if we're going to open up the field to characters owned by Warner Brothers, then it would seem foolish for Tony Stark not to go after someone from Krypton, but not who you think. Iron Man should go to Earth 2 and get Karen Starr, aka Kara Zor-El, aka Power Girl. Now here's where I'm going with this. In crossing over through the time ribbon or whatever, Power Girl should wind up on Tatooine, not remember who she is or what her powers are, and be made a servant of Jasali the Hutt. Yes, I am saying that episode 7 needs Slave Power Girl. And if you think I'm wrong, launch a Kickstarter campaign to have her in the movie and try not to make $5 million in the first 12 hours. And if Amanda Connor, Frank Cho, or Drew Struzan want to start doing character sketches and posting them online, expect your traffic to spike. The real question is, if there's a Slave Power Girl, will women at comic book conventions cosplay as any other character ever again? It's worth finding out. Now, the other person I think Tony Stark needs to recruit to fight Thanos and any Sith-related villains he teams up with, and I know I'm going to get flack for this, is Galactus. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying the Star Wars universe has suffered through 2 space stations that can and have destroyed planets. Do we really need to bring in a character who eats planets? Don't say no until you hear the whole thing. In order to pay off Galactus for aiding in the defeat of Thanos, I am quite certain that no Star Wars fan would have any problem with allowing Galactus to eat half of Naboo and all of Endor. We could, as they say, hit 2 Minox with 1 stone. So the movie would end with Thanos defeated, some Ewok shaman failing miserably at trying to build an ultimate nullifier out of sticks and mud, and Boba Fett becoming the new Herald of Galactus and getting some of the power cosmic. Slave Power Girl would remember who she is, kill Jasali the Hutt, but decide to keep the costume, a picture of which everyone in all universes would set as their new screensaver. I want to say that I have nothing but respect and admiration for Patton Oswalt, both as a comedian and as a geek, that I know his pitch was improvised, that it might have been different had he had more time ribbon to do it, and that I'm nitpicking. But let's face it, that's what geeks are supposed to do.